to another Gray and Magnolia's podcast thingy. Not podcast really, just me talking a lot. So this video is going to be two parts since I've read a lot, so I just figured to just throw it together. Um, this first part's going to be a library book haul. I just thought that'd be pretty neat, kind of, you know, I mean, it's not to normalize, but like, you know, not everyone has the budget to buy a new book all the time, even if it's thrifted. Um, Even though Kindle Unlimited is amazing, not everyone can afford that either. And then, um, yeah, money's tight for a lot of people. So I'm really into my like library downloading app, like lending app, or Hoopla is another really good app to connect with your library. That mixes more media than like actual book loaning, but you can do both. Another free thing. So I figured I'd do a library haul because I finished Written in Blood by Anne Bishop and I needed the rest of the series. And it just so happened that my local library, I had to like wait for them to come in, um, had all of them, and like I wanted all of them because I finished the series, that's part two, but I wanted the physical book while I listened to the audiobook to just kind of really absorb it in. So let me share with you what I got. Um, so I am going to try, I think this is going to be my palette cleanser after I just finished the other series by Anne Bishop. I've never read this. I heard a lot of really good things, and they actually have all the books via like the lending app with the audio book. I think most of them, at least, because I think it's like 13 um, books, but it's The Red Wall by Brian Jacques. So I don't know, I'm just feeling very nostalgic of like trying to find everything that I missed out when I was younger. Trust me, I read a lot, but I was reading other things that weren't as popular, a lot of vintage romance and stuff like that. So I picked this up. This is book one. I'm gonna give it a try to see if I like it. It should be like a quick read. It is why I think it's like middle grade, honestly, but some of the chapters are short, and I don't know, just kind of wanting that disconnect from reality. So a little fantasy there. And then the other thing I picked up as a palette cleanser was A Filthy Rich Fae by Geneva Lee. I think it's kind of like a play on words of Crazy Rich Asians, which I never read or watched, and the back sounds pretty good. It's based in New Orleans. It's like mafia crime family, but like the Fae kind of rule the underbelly and all that stuff, the other world. So I thought that would be a fun. It's only like 350 pages, which for me that's like a day and a half read. Used to be like a day read, but you know, adult responsibilities. So it has really pretty sprayed edges, but I saw that on the wall of like just like new releases that my library has. So got that. This is the second series I'm going to start after palette cleanser. I think that'll do me good. Just like a little palette cleanser so I don't get tired, but I can't get tired because this was such a good series. I'll get to that in a second. So this is another The World of Other series, but the first book is Lake Silence, then it's Wild Country, and then it's Crow Bones, which set in the same world as Written in Blood, and it's just, I can't wait. This is a whole nother part, another region, so I'm excited. Let me see, there's always a map at the beginning. Okay, so this is going to be at the Finger Feather Lakes, which we got introduced in what I just finished reading. So I got those, and I will be reading these. Damn, book two is thick. How many pages is it? Oh shit, it's almost 500 pages. But I will be reading these in tandem with the audiobook from my local library, which I'm pretty good at visualizing while I read, but honestly, it's been such a joy to read while I listen. Um, or do it in the mornings or before I go to bed, or like I've done all my house sleep duties and I'm like on the couch as like a couch potato. I have done nothing else but read these past week and a half. And now to the last. So the first part of the other books is a 5-book series. First one is um, Written in Blood, and I just posted a video kind of reviewing it. I was all over the place, but it is so good, so good. And book 2 was Murder of Crows. Book 3 is Vision in Silver. Lovely Meg Corbin. The cover is giving me like cheesy early 2000s, honestly, but I still love it. And then book 4 is Marked in Flesh. And book 5 was Etched in Bone. Where do I even begin? Okay, so those are all the books I got. I'm going to be returning these 4 tomorrow probably. And I'm going to... This one, there is no audiobook that I can listen to, so I'll just be reading, which is fine. And I really hope there's dual point of view, but I don't think so. So, should be fun. I just want fantasy. I want just nothing realistic right now. Or I might give this a try, just something like really lighthearted and fun and adventurous. So we'll see what I pick. I will most definitely do a little review. So yeah, that's everything I got. And I already have like another, and I made an old school TBR of several series that I came across. They came out in the early 2000s. I did have a low, like when I was in like high school, I didn't read that much. It wasn't as much as when I was younger, like middle school, grade school. I read like crazy then. Then I kind of, was into other things. Not much of anything really, because I didn't do anything. And then I didn't read for a long time. A lot of, big low, big low point in my adulthood. And then I picked up reading again in 2019, 2020. I read like crazy 2020, I have to say. God, I think I read almost 200 books that year. 2021 was pretty good too. And then 2023, 2024, like 2023, I hardly read, honestly, which was really difficult because I just couldn't get into anything. I did read some, but nothing memorable that I can think off the top of my head. But yeah, that's everything I got, and I can't wait to finish the other one, and I love reading. Okay, part 2, me reviewing in whole and individually it's called The Other. I'm gonna call it the Written in Blood series, honestly, because there's another, the World of the Other series. So this is part 1, which is crazy world building. Like, there is world building till the end. Crazy. So, okay, so book 2, the villain, again, it's like still carrying on. So Meg Corbin, who is a Cassandra Sang, blood prophet, has run away from her controller. That's kind of where it ends. I forgot, the book 1 was just kind of like bringing her into the courtyard and just kind of understanding, and she's just like trying to survive and stuff like that. So this one is, well, did they get the controller in book 1? I'm not remembering, honestly. But this one is continuing with, there's this drug that is like kind of causing the others to attack humans to viciously attack others. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but it has to do with the Cassandra Sang. So it's just like kind of, I mean, it is just like this, you're just like on the edge of your seat. You're just like, I was just like, oh my god, it's like the world building, the relationship building, the character development. You learn more about the courtyard and all of Thasia and kind of just everything. I'm gonna try to do my best to give this justice because I highly, highly recommend it. So it is urban fantasy. It is romance is like I said in my last movie, not movie, might as well have been a movie because it was long. In my last video, the the romance element is like plot number 10. It's like way over there. It is simmering and growing, but I really like how it was done and it was satisfying at the end, even though just me wanting more, which was like a little epilogue. But that romance doesn't happen till, let me tell you now, it does not happen until book 5. But like it is still so good, so good. So there's conflict. The conflict, like, just you feel it. You feel the anger that the others are like frustrated and the humans are like confused and all this stuff. So yeah, book 2 has to do with a drug that's like affecting um, all of Asia. Uh, Humans are attacking others. Others are becoming like lethargic and like vulnerable, like prey and all this stuff. So they're like, what the hell's going on? Really good. And side note, one of my favorite elements, and that's going to be a relevant word in a minute, of this whole series is that Meg, her job is kind of like the postman. She's like the liaison between for humans, which is funny because she hardly interacts with humans, but she like receives deliveries and mail for any humans in the courtyard or any businesses, and then the others she like delivers them. But there is ponies, and I love these ponies so much. They go and they deliver, and at first it's just a few, and then she starts giving them treats, and it's more of them. And each pony is an element of sorts. Like there's mist, there's thunder, there's hurricane, there's whirlpool, there's quicksand, and all this stuff. And they first look like chubby, like grumpy ponies, but then they turn into these majestic horses that are the elemental steeds. Oh, I love that. I love that aspect. I wasn't a horse girl, but I kind of am low key for the elemental ponies. So that was book 2. Book 3, Vision and Silver. So now the conflict is trying to save and trying to save and you just keep trying to understand the blood prophets because there's so little learned. They were kept in such a controlled environment. So it's just like, and Meg, I mean, she doesn't know. She like, the addiction trigger warning is to self-harm, right? That's like to then give prophecy, and then if you speak the prophecy you get euphoria, you get all like hot and bothered or whatever, and then they're veiled from what they saw, or you bite the words, you feel excruciating pain, and you remember the vision, right? So now she keeps having these prophecy visions to save the other Cassandra Sang, and just gripping, just like, oh my gosh. And we get introduced to other parts of Thasia. We get to, I think, yeah, we get introduced to Inuits, which are the only group of humans that have lived, lived okay enough and peacefully enough with the others for centuries. They have intuition, like they get feelings, not like actual visions, but they're like, okay, I'm not going to go into that story. I got a really bad feeling, and they get pain in a certain part of the body, every single one of them. So they're very intuitive. I guess that's where the word comes from. But they're like natives, like they were there already on this continent, already living a part of the others, and then Asia was colonized, right? Like other humans from the other continents came. So they're kind of like what we would consider American natives. So we get introduced to them. Again, just so good. Like so much suspense, so much political intrigue, and just kind of like this thing is brewing, the HFL, Humans First and Last movement, which despise them. Terrible. Terrible. So yeah, so good. Then book 3 was Etched in Bone, which this one was probably the most like rage inducing. Like there's division, like, and conflict brewing between the humans and the others. there's this movement talking shit, honestly, and saying, like, why do these others deserve all this land? We deserve this land. It's just not being used, it's not being utilized. And it's this no fuck from nowhere from another continent that's never experienced with others, doesn't know diddly squat. So and it's just so, like, you're angry, you're just like, God. And you hear a couple of the chapters, or like little parts before the chapter starts, are like snips of his speech and stuff. And let me tell you, you will be angry, but you will be satisfied at the end. For sure. But this book is when the others retaliate. They give punishment to the humans for effing up. And let me tell you, they deserve it. The bad humans, they deserved it. So that was book 3. That was, like, amazing. I was like, oh my God. I was like telling my husband, I was like, this is so good. So good. Book 4. No. What am I talking? What am I saying? Book 5. 1, 2. Sorry, this was book 4. I'm not counting correctly, but that's fine. So, this is the last book. I'm gonna miss all of them. Hopefully they get kind of mentioned in the new other series that I'm gonna be starting. But this is marked in flesh. So good. So I'm trying not to super spoil anything, but Thasia is effed. It's pre-apocalyptic right now. Things have been wiped, communications have been cut. They kind of have to go to more simpler ways, and they're trying to, you know, trying to survive, right? Trying to survive. And Lakeside is trying really hard, like, look, Terra Indigene, look, others, we are your friends. Please don't kill us. Please, we'll do whatever you want, pretty much. So now they're just trying to figure out, after the major event of Etched in Bone. Wait, hold on. I did it wrong. This is the last book I'm talking about. This is the previous book. So I will put the correct picture. I had it in order and now I got out of order. So yeah, Etched in Bone is book 5. Anyway, so, like, the world is upside down. Certain places have been wiped off the map. There is tension thick and brewing between the elders, which you find out more about them, which honestly gave me chills. But they're very interested in Simon and Meg and their relationship and the community and the network and the pact that they built in Lakeside Court Yard. So they're like, we got our eyes on you and we want to learn what the whole hub above is. But the villain in here, man, it was tough. It was a tough read. It was very, and, like, for sure every book gets darker. Not from some of the dark romance, or, like, it's not like horror. I mean, it is very gory and, like, violent. But it was something else. It just made you feel so angry. But I really liked how with the person who was the center of the conflict, they weren't budging for nothing. They weren't being convinced. Like, the others are always, like, 2 steps ahead because they have Meg, who either unintentionally has a prophecy or, you know, is like, gets hurt and then she has a prophecy. And also throughout the book she's trying her hardest, which was very fascinating, of trying not to do self-harm to then get prophecy. So she starts doing card readings, which, that's a whole big aspect of this. And we meet some other Cassandra saying, oh, wait, what's it? What happened in book 4 was so sad. So sad. I'm sorry I'm all over the place, but it was so sad. I was like, no. Barely even knew the character, and I was like, no, that's so sad. But, like, so the humans are trying their hardest to live in the courtyard, who've become this, like, mixed pack of wolves and bears and humans, and they're just trying to make it work through these hard times. It was so good. So the whole series I give a 5 out of 5, 100%. Each book, I would have to say, got as an individual 4.5 out of 5 stars. The plot was excellent. The world building was excellent. Um, and if you, of course, you have to read these in order. But if you like read book one, I think I said, maybe I said this in my last video. If not, I'm repeating myself, or I'm saying for the first time, whatever. Sorry. So, Anne Bishop does such a good job of refreshing you of the world of things that happen throughout, where even though it is repetitive, like I read it back to back, I read literally a book and a half a day, which is crazy behavior, but I just couldn't put it down. But she does it like if you read book one and then you read book two like 3 months later, she does such a good job of refreshing your mind of what's happened, where you're not like, oh, it's been so long since I read book one, I don't think I want to, because I've read series before and I feel like either they overdo it or they don't say anything at all, and it's like, okay, I'm kind of lost, just picking up and like reconnecting slowly. So yeah, hopefully that was coherent enough. Maybe it wasn't, but I highly recommend this book, this series. It was so good. Anne Bishop is one of my favorite authors right now that I just discovered her, and I cannot wait to read. I just do a little book of a video of that later, but some more books of hers that I just got. But yeah, I will just let me know if you've read it, if you plan to read it. Leave a like and comment down below. Check out my previous video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.